I'm screwed. This one is a book that is a mythological retelling, Moon Witch Spider King by Marlon James. Because, hello, this is thick. Good lord, it's thick. It's 620 pages, but in thick format. I'm screwed. I finished this book! I'm officially back from the gym. You can see it from my state. I have bought the unhealthiest dietary choice possible, and I'm now finally ready to review Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James. My god! You can see in many of my shorter videos, the vertical videos, how much of a struggle this read was. I am personally not a fan of long chapters, and these chapters were monstrous. So long and tight, and because of the format of the book, it always seemed like there was never an end to the thing, so it was really tough for me to get through it. I have taken some notes on this book because I have a lot to say. For once, why didn't I really vibe with this book? Point one, didn't vibe with it because we are told in the description of the book that basically this whole journey is a journey researching or chasing after a boy, and we don't learn the identity of the boy until page 313. 313, okay? So we have this humongous initial journey that hints to the boy, tells stories about the boy, but you don't have the identity of the boy, which totally put me off it because I didn't care about this boy. And when I learned about him, I was so sick of going after the boy that I just didn't care. So for me, it was a problem of literally not caring enough about the character that we were looking for. And talking about characters, there is so much more than I can tell. At the beginning, the overall style concept was really fun and I really enjoyed it. But as it went on, the style was mainly dialogue without interruptions, telling you who was speaking. And I get it because it was so much dialogue that it would have been a bit overwhelming, but as well, never having it, you barely ever had it at all within the whole book, made it so impossible to follow. It required a huge amount of concentration because of that. But we were talking about characters, so let's not get off the track. The two main characters, of course, as the title says, are Black Leopard and Red Wolf. I'm not going to unveil much about them because it's quite fun to discover who they are, what they can do, and whatever. But what I have as a complaint about the characters is Black Leopard, as suggested by the name, has behaviors that can be related to the animal. And nothing against that, that was pretty cool. But he disappeared for so much of the plot, was constantly going off and on, and it kind of bugged me because the story should have been about these two. And yes, the ending is about these two, and there's some plot points about them, and then the rest of the thing is all about Red Wolf and his relationship with other characters and his storyline. So that I didn't love because we have two main protagonists, one of which was constantly off, just goes and goes and goes. So didn't vibe with that. The other point about that was Red Wolf. He was, in my opinion, from how he appeared, very childish. And he constantly gets told that. It's not only me thinking it. But because the whole world where this whole thing takes place, we have Red Wolf believing a lot in magic and witchcraft and wizardry, which was really interesting, but I never understood where that was true and where that was pure mythology and just his paranoia coming into it. So I didn't love that about him. Plus, he's so focused on violence, so focused, and never gets any consequence for it. I didn't vibe with that element of the story as well. It reminded me so much of Cormac McCartney throughout the whole book for the element of the description and dialogue without reference to the characters, and the element of the extreme violence. If you read Blood Meridian and if you read what happened and you read this book, you are gonna have such a similar style. If you love Blood Meridian, you're gonna love this book. The style is very similar. There's a lot of talk of disgusting things that I don't personally vibe with, but if you liked Blood Meridian, this is the one for you. An example of this whole thing would be that at the beginning of the story, the character tells us that he's going to tell us a story, or better, 3 stories, and then tells us the stories, but the division between the stories is a single paragraph line, making them, for me, very, very confusing, especially when you are in a chapter since a long time and your mind perhaps starts to wander or is a bit tired. It made it for me hard to follow. And I would say that this whole thing in the chapters reminded me of the book It by Stephen King. I have not read the book paper form, but I know that there is some jumping around within the book that I really enjoyed. And so I'm very surprised that I didn't like the jumping around here, because I found it so hard to discern one character from the other from the way that they spoke. I found it so hard to understand where they were. If I hadn't had the maps, I would have been completely lost within the story, and also the journey, despite the presence of the maps, were so hard to follow. So as an overall, what do I think? I think that the positive aspects of it was that it was very creative. It's very, very different from the things that I'm used to read, and the link between the natural world and the human world are very, very tight. I really like that. And also maybe for all of the disgusting things that we see here, I feel that maybe that is a way of the author to make us come together with the natural element within the story, despite of the disgusting level it's at. I felt that the dialogue was way too much compared to the description. I feel that for me, it needs to be a 50-50 kind of thing. And here I get what the author was going for, but for me, it really was the White Room mistake, where you have a place that you have so little description for that it all appears like if you were in a white room that has nothing around. So for me, because they were never acting or very seldom, nothing was happening besides the dialogue. At the beginning, I thought they were inside the jungle the whole time. And then I understood that they were within the cities, but it took me a long time to discern them from their actual location. And as I said, if you like Cormac McCartney, you're gonna love this one. If you like African mythology in general or want to read something different, this is certainly different. And I think that you might like it, but beware. The dialogue is so much that if you don't like a lot of dialogue and very little description, don't pick up this book. I don't think it's going to be the one for you. I would say that it wasn't the perfect book for me. Anyway, I was super happy to have picked this one up. It's a very big mammoth that gets off my library shelf, so I'm super happy. I know that in the ticket that I got at the beginning of the month, it was Moon Witch Spider King, but that is book 2 of the series, which I own, but I struggled enough to finish this one, so I would take a break before getting to the next one. And I feel that this counts because it was the first one of the series and it was the book of the month. I think that it's the time for my favorite part of the month, which is sorting the new book. So great. We are already May 1st today. I was one day late for finishing the book. I really rushed through it at the end, really read so many hours, but it wasn't enough, so I needed a bit of time today. So let's open this jar. Struggle like every month. And let's mix it all up. I'm not gonna read anything, not gonna read. Okay, that one fell out. Feels like the correct choice. A book with a yellow cover. And the book of the month is Kingdom of the Wicked by Terry Maniscalco. Oh my god. This is a book that I really wanted to read since a long time. It has been on my shelf for a lot of time, and like, look at the cover. The cover is just so good. The premise is 2 sisters, 1 murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself. Okay. Emilia and the twin sister Victoria are streghe, witches who live secretly among humans, avoiding notice and persecution, until one night Victoria misses dinner service at her family's renowned Sicilian restaurant. Emilia soon finds the body of her beloved twin, desecrated beyond belief. Devastated, Emilia vows to seek vengeance at any cost, even if it means using dark magic that's been long forbidden. And then Emilia meets Rash, one of the wicked, princes of hell he has been warned against since she was a child. Wrath claims to be on Emilia's side, tasked with solving the stories of murders on the island. But when it comes to the wicked, nothing is as it seems. I'm so excited, and I know that this seems like a very short book, but I will not pick another one because I have the rest of the series here with me, including Kingdom of the Feared, which I think is the 3rd installment in the series. The correct order of the series is this one: Kingdom of the Wicked, Kingdom of the Cursed, Kingdom of the Feared. So we have the 3 of them. I think that what I will do is read this one first and then dive into the rest of the series, and I really hope I'm gonna like it because I'm really hoping that I can get a few books done this month. I have this book that I want to finish before any of the Book of the Month books because I am going to see Suzanne Denard in May, and she's coming for an event, and I really want to read her book. I have technically started it, and I'm at page 5, which is absolutely ridiculous. I will start it again, but overall I will start the book and read this book first. I will update you on everything, so I'm so glad of the pick of the month. I really hope that you liked this review, that you will tell me in the comments what you thought about the book if you read it, and if you plan to pick it up or not, and I really hope we can see each other in the next one.